Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of our show. Tonight we are talking with Miss Wesley GW, who has been here before. We are going to have listings reviews live. So she has been nice enough to graciously agree to do our reviews for us. And as usual, we have Mr. Cool Toads with us.
Hello.
So Wesley, would you like to remind everybody who you are and everything about you that they haven't, if they don't follow you on YouTube?
Okay. I'm WesleyGW is my YouTube channel, and I have all different kind of videos up there, but the main focus and most of my audience are people who are entrepreneurs, small business owners, and even mainly out of that group is going to be people who sell on eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, and Etsy, which I know is the majority of the group here, and that's actually how Sean and Chris and I all found each other, was through that community. And so I'm just excited to be here. This is my second time here, and this is my first time actually doing live critiques of people's listings, so this should be a lot of fun and a new experience for all of us, so I'm really excited about it.
Heck yeah.
And Sean, would you like to do some welcome and whatever? Let everybody know about you.
Yeah, I am Cool Toads. I have a channel here on YouTube, Cool Toads, and I also have a Facebook group now called the Frog Pond. And that's facebook.com/group/Toadcast. So you can go there and join that, and it's not really going. It's going a little bit. Texas Gal Treasures and a few others of us kind of talk more often in it, but which is awesome to get it going. And then the Toadcast on Friday nights. Yep.
Would you like
I'm
to
looking for interviewees, so if anybody's interested, get in touch with me on Facebook. Yep.
I was going to say if you want to give anybody an update, and some of our viewers know what's going on with you and your wife.
Oh, yeah, she's a little bit better today, but she's still having trouble walking a little bit. And she had an MRI done today, just to check some other things out. And she's had like a really bad migraine all day. But overall, she's getting a little bit better, and the pills that she had the reaction to are finally getting out of her system. And I don't know. It just depends on how well she gets up and starts walking more, if she comes home tomorrow or the next day. So.
Well, hopefully she's home tomorrow.
That'd be good.
Yep.
Well, Leslie, want to start with Sean's listing that he asked you to look up?
Absolutely, yeah. I love it that both of y'all just jumped right in and said, we'll start it off. Well, here's some of our listings. So for the past few minutes, I've kind of been looking over their stuff and getting a little bit of jump on it. And before I go into this, I want y'all to keep in mind that one of the best ways you're going to find out if your listings are working or not is to actually ask people who buy stuff from you. It's okay to either contact them with a little note inside their package, or with a note to them, in the selling platform after the sale, and just ask them, kind of like, hey, thanks, and then also ask them, hey, what was it that brought you to my listing? What was it that, that had you want to buy that? Because I'll tell you what, I've gotten some great stories from people who have bought from me that just makes me warm and fuzzy inside. But a lot of times, too, they are your best resource for knowing why something works, because obviously they bought it, and then it's easy to just repeat it. Just repeat it after you've done that. So that's the main thing to always keep in mind, number one. So the first one that we're going to do today is Sean's, I believe. And let me get my screen share set up. Entire screen, share it. And guys, am I up?
Yep.
Awesome, fantastic. Okay, so this is a listing right now that Sean has live over, obviously, on eBay. And obviously, this is, this is a great way too, is always after you've posted a listing, go back and take a look at it as you're logged out, okay? Look at the listing just as a regular person coming up to it, okay? because this is going to be what potential buyers are looking at when they come to see this, okay? Now, the one thing I do like on this just to begin with is that it's not really cluttered, okay? You have the automatic stuff that's filled in up here, obviously that comes from what eBay prints in, you know, and your price and things like that. A little bit of an item condition that he noted. And then as you scroll down, it goes right into a very nice and clean listing, okay? This is going to be one thing that's not on Sean's that I'm glad it's not on his, or else I'd have to fuss at him. But you don't see a lot of curly cues, you don't see glittering, blinking lights, you don't see cute cats dancing around in the corner or whatever. Those things are extraneous and unnecessary. Save those things for your social media profiles, okay? So let's take a look up at the very top here for his, first of all, the picture, very good, nice, good, large picture here. I think he may have 3. Let me check here. Nope, he's got more than 3. Shows the back of it. Excellent job, Sean. That is fantastic, because the buyer needs to know, you know, kind of what does it look like, you know, before it's coming. He's shown on this one the signature, which is fantastic. This one is a little bit more detailed. And then, of course, the main photo here. Now, Sean, of course, you know what I'm going to say to you. And the first thing off is that I would like to see the background be all one color, okay? So maybe in your work area, you have one nail on the wall that you hang all pictures on, where you can see just the background, okay? Let me ask a question real quick. Is it staticky for everybody, or is it just me on my end?
I think Sean, you have your fan on next to you?
Me? No.
I was asking if Sean did. Yeah,
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay.
No. I can hear you okay. I don't know.
Is it all right? Okay, maybe it's just me on this end. So, but yeah, Sean, that'd be the only thing that I'd say on this, because, you know, here you can kind of see a little bit. And the only reason why, it has nothing to do with, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it because I can see this little piece here. What you want to show is this wonderful piece of art, okay? And the more of a blank area you can have around it is going to be better, okay? So that would be the only thing I'd say there on your images, because otherwise, you know, as I zoom in, I can look at the detail of the frame and everything. So you've done a really good job putting the whole thing in there. That's fantastic. Now, looking over here at the title, it's actually dolphins, as you can see, and they're riding on dolphins. So the way they've titled it is actually Dolphin Ride, but it's spelled differently. And Sean actually brought this up, and this would be one of the first things that I would say, is that in the title, you could somewhere to the side put dolphin, you know, maybe instead of whale, because even though, you know, there are, actually I don't see any whales in here, so dolphin would probably be a better word to use there, okay?
Whalen is the famous whale guy, so I was thinking whales when I was, yeah.
Hey, that happens, you know?
Yeah, not paying attention.
There's a couple of tricks, too, that I would say. First of all, can y'all see all the way up here where my cursor is? At the very top of the screen, can y'all see that on the screen share?
I see it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You see how this says right here, Dolphin Ride, Print, Whalen, and John Warren, Whale, Ocean, and the number? That's exactly what this is, okay? What these turn into, and I'm not going to get too detailed, but I'll just do it on this one, but what these turn into is kind of like metadata keywords. So if someone is on Google searching for John Warren, this would come up because John Warren is up here, okay? Now, John Warren may be awesome because obviously he's the artist, but more than anything, you want something about framed print dolphins, okay? So remember to formulate your first title of how it's going to look up here, okay, and how those words are going to come up in here. So, for example, the word from and the word and, those are not necessary here, okay? So you could put Dolphin Ride Print dash Wayland ampersand John Warren Dolphin Ocean. Okay, y'all see what I'm talking about there? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, because what you're doing here is you're using up 4 characters here and 3 characters here plus the spaces on either side, where you could put in an entirely new word, you know, fantasy even, because the way that the, you know, the kind of the characters are looking, okay? So that would be something to focus in up in that area there. Now let me look here. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's my dog.
Oh, okay. You're
Decided
with your dog.
Yeah.
Okay, and then very good with your item condition that you've got going on. Comes with frame, small scratches on frame, but frame is in great shape. Can be shipped without the frame if you want. Please see pictures for better description. Now, one thing I would note here, comes with frame, small scratches, but in great shape. You don't have to worry about using full sentences here, again, because I think that there's a limited number of little characters that you can put in this area, because you've said frame, 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 frame. See what I'm saying? So go ahead and you can, just reword that and bump it back. And again, you can kind of, it's what I call newspaper speak. Comes with frame, small scratches, frame in great shape, can be shipped, flat or something like that, okay? Think about those things as you're writing these, because every little character makes a difference. Now, in the description is where you can go crazy, all right? You can absolutely make full sentences. You can tell a story. You can say, this is, how you got this, and the crazy person that was selling it to you. It's whatever, way that you want to present yourself to the public as a seller, as Mr. Toad's Toolbox. Maybe you're very cut and dried, like you've got here. You give just the facts, ma'am, and that's fine too. What I would say, Sean, that I'd like to see is more description, because like you've got basically a copy paste of your title here, which is excellent practice, okay? Because again, if you've got it up here and then you've got it repeated down in the body basically of this web page, and that's how the search engines look at it, that's excellent, because then that's going to rank higher for these particular keywords that you've got, okay? Now, right here where it says comes with frame, small scratches on frame, but frame is in great shape. This is exactly what you set up here, which is fine. Okay, that's fine. But give me more. I want more information. Okay? Is it really heavy? Like, is the frame really heavy, or is it a lightweight, cheap frame that I can get at Michael's, you can say, like in this description right here, I don't see where it says signed. Let's see. Okay, okay, you do say it's a print, so good, that's excellent.
So still, even if that signature is printed, it's still considered signed then?
Well, in this case, yeah, I thank you for correcting me on that, because it's not technically signed, but you could say something like the print does, show his, signature or something like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so you could note that out. Because sometimes, just to be really extreme, sometimes, for example, like a movie set is looking for something. This could look like it's an actual painting, and they get pretty detailed, on movies. So I'm always thinking the ultimate extreme, where an item could go, what are they looking for? Another thing, Sean, let me see. Okay, in this area, when you are listing over on eBay, there is an area, and I don't want to click over there because I know that would shut down my computer pretty much, but there is a, when you're in your listing area, you can put in 2 different links. One of them says something like, to see my other items, click here. And then
I started doing that again,
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one is something like follow my store, or follow my listings, or something like that. Go ahead and put both of those in there at the bottom, okay?
Okay.
I would also note where you're shipping it from. You don't have to say the exact city, but you could say what state you're in. I'm finding a lot of times people are, they'll buy something from someone if their state is closer and they think they might get it faster in shipping. So you never know what your buyer is going to be looking for, and so just give them as much information. Really just max out this description area. And I know for a lot of people that's counterintuitive, because they're thinking, well, I want to list a whole bunch. And here's the deal. It's great to list a whole bunch, but where he is wanting to sell this for $125, I want to get my money's worth before I ever get the item. So like if this was, a piece of plastic jewelry that you were selling for 99 cents, of course you don't have to go crazy, down in here. But definitely the easiest way to bulk out this area is to go ahead and do just a simple Word document or whatever, to where you can just copy and paste and fill in these blanks, and then add your couple of links that are inside the eBay listing area. So how does that help you out, Sean? Do you want me? Is there any specific you want me to address on this one, or you want me to move on?
It helps a truckload. definitely want to do new. I wanted to do new pictures anyway, so that gives me a reason to, for sure.
Fantastic.
But,
yeah, you did really excellent. I want everybody to
that?
know this.
It has that glare in there though. You can kind of see the. I did it in front of my door.
right up there.
Yeah.
And that, that's one of those things, maybe time of day, maybe turning it literally, like pulling this corner out just like a quarter of an inch might take that glare off. And these are things that you do see, because you probably didn't see that when you were taking the picture.
I did. I just now saw it, actually.
Right. Exactly. But for everybody that does pictures, fantastic. People don't think to do the back. So very excellent job on the back. You get gold stars for that. That is absolutely awesome. Fantastic. So now the next one was, let me see. I think this one, isn't this the next one?
Yep.
Okay, and this is one of Chris's. So here, let's again just start at the top just real quickly. You can see where this again is identical to the headline, okay? I want everybody to note that. You may not have been aware of it, or you may not have been aware of the importance of what you're listing here and how it reacts with search engine optimization, okay? And that's just as an aside here. Anytime you list something, think of yourself as creating a web page. Don't think of it as creating another of your listings on eBay, okay? This is a standalone web page. This whole thing is a standalone web page, basically, that Chris owns at this point, and Sean and anybody else. Okay, so think of it that way when you're creating that listing. Okay, so let's look here at the pictures that he's got. First of all, this is fantastic. He cut off the top of the hanger, which is ideal. Nobody cares about the top of the hanger. They want to see the garment itself. Okay, so here he's got it with the suit, with the shirt and tie. In this one, it's just the jacket. He starts showing some labels, which is fantastic. Buttons, that is awesome. That is wonderful. Very, very good there. He turned it so you could see the lining and the stitching and things like that. Excellent work. And do y'all see how he's put so many pictures in here of all the different details of the inside and the outside of the jacket? Very important, because it shows, like right here, it shows, let me get that to hold for me. It shows right here that it has been tailored, okay? And so this is something that people can note, if they're wanting to buy it. He's showing here how nicely the fabric is lining up. So these, again, are all very important that, people are going to want to see, is this really well made? So good on the pictures. Again, what I'm going to say is right here's this light plate, is the little switch is in the screen area. So an easy way to do this, you're probably hanging this on a hook or something. Go ahead and either get a large piece of paper or a large sheet or something and just pin it up on the wall, so where this is in front of it and your suit is taking full and center stage. Another thing I would mention on this one, Chris, is that it seems like maybe your lighting was a little bit off. I don't know if this room is somewhere where you can open windows more or possibly get some.
That's in our bedroom, so it's not, what's the word, picture friendly?
Right, okay. That would be the only thing I think, is that maybe you could do some test shots, go around in your house and find, maybe it's a certain time of day in one room for an hour, that you get some good lighting. If not, another thing you can do is just get a lamp, put it about 3 or 4 feet away from the garment and take the lamp shade off, so it's just a raw light bulb. And test with that to see how the lighting works on there. But overall, the pictures, very nicely done, and I like to see that you put a lot in there. That's fantastic. So let's go over here to the title area, and he's got sport coat, Valentino, Uma, I don't know how to say that, but I'm guessing that's part of the name, 39R, which is the size, double-breasted, green, blazer, Italy, wool, 6-1 button. All very good. Do y'all see how this is not a sentence? This is keywords. These, it's like it's like a newspaper headline. Double-breasted green blazer, Italy, wool, get it today. This is like what you're wanting to catch, okay? And again, it's up here in this area, so you get really good keyword optimization on that point there. Let's see, sport coat, Valentino, Umo, double-breasted green blazer, Italy wool. Yeah, there's really no words in here that I would take out, so I think you've done really good on optimizing that. So let's look at the item condition here, what you've written. Pre-owned, in great condition, small spots on inside liner barely visible, no other flaws, all original buttons, no tears, stains, or snags. One thing I would put on this, and Sean, this harkens back to yours too, and this was information I got as I was going through training to be an appraiser, a certified appraiser, which I am not, but I've gone through the training. Make sure when you're making any statements like this, put something just something like the words of to the best of our observation, or when we looked over the garment, blah 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 blah. Okay, because any way that you can CYA cover your behind. Just go ahead and make that statement. So that's true for anybody, obviously, that's listening and has listings of your own. One of the things that I put just in my cut and paste area that's down in, oops, and I've run past it, down in the description area, it says something about our ratings. We've made these ratings to the best of our knowledge. We are, however, human, and we do make mistakes. Okay, and that kind of covers you too, and it opens you up to just say, hey, you know what? If you know, let me know if I missed something that you see in the photo that I need to add. It's just kind of that little, you know, nod to, hey, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm not perfect. And then let's see, going into this, you've got the pricing here, which is good. Obviously, all this is again auto-filled by eBay itself. Coming on down here. Again, remember everybody, this is something that's written at the top. Okay, so this is an automatic fill-in right here. You did good, you know, putting all the different kind of items in here. Yeah, they've got the regular up there, so that's good, excellent. And then down here in this area, you've got it pretty much, you know, it's like bullet points, and this is great because somebody can see, again, you've copied and pasted the title, which again is going to help with optimization there. Brand, you know, now one thing I would ask is, how do you know it was bought there? Or how do you know it was this? Was that on one of the tags?
I believe so.
Okay, okay. So that would be good. You could say or tag read, like you have brand : just do tag reads and then this, okay, if it is on a tag. Color, you know, the measurements are all good. Now this is really key for anybody who does clothing, okay? He's got the chest dimension, the waist, the sleeve, the shoulders, and the length from the nap to the hem. And if you don't know what these terms are, just look them up for garment measurements, okay? One thing on the chest, what I usually put is like armpit to armpit, okay? Sleeve, I would say from, you know, shoulder seam to cuff. So they know exactly where you're measuring to, even though you're going, well, it's the sleeve. Hello, trust me, people don't know. You have to tell them what you're telling them, and then tell them what you told them, and then tell them again what you just told them, and then they'll finally get the information. Really good that you put all about no vents and things like that. Again, kind of like the same thing on Sean's. I would put in there the link to the other items, and I know that this is your store here, so that's awesome. But go ahead and put those other links in there, you know, see my other items and follow me, I think is the other one that's listed. One thing I would note on this area right here, and I'm not sure if you can adjust this based on that it's in your store, I would try to bump up that font just a little bit, okay, because I'm on 100% right now, and with my getting old woman eyes, it's just a little bit small. So it's better to have it a little bit larger than, you know, have it a little bit undersized. But the font type is fine as well. Let me see here, and then that's your store stuff. Okay, so before I move on to your next one, Chris, was there anything that you wanted me to address specifically on this one?
Not that I can run it out. I thought I had all the other information in about the pit to pit and stuff like that, so I don't know how it...
Right, and that's just one of those things, you know, if anybody went to check out my stuff, they'd find, you know, stuff that I missed as well. And so that's one of those things that, you know, if you do, because like obviously this is some of stuff from Chris's store, obviously he's going to have several garments, and so you could again have, you know, a copy and paste for your garments that you literally go in and just fill in the color, the length, the sizes, so where you don't forget anything, and just get that template set up. Okay, now if I remember right, Chris, you said this was your old template, and now you're working with a new one, so that's the next one we're going to see.
if you notice on the bottom of that listing, it says the Ink Frog.
Right here?
The Ink Frog Open, which is a free temp, and you can get templates from them, which is what I
Okay.
use for the next one.
Okay, excellent. So y'all heard what he just said. This template pattern he showed me was something I think that he was doing. And then now this next one we're going to see is from this group here. So y'all might want to take a note of that and shop over there a little bit and see what you like on their templates, okay? So let's go on over here to the next one of, whoops, the next one of this. And again, you know,
Leslie,
Yeah.
before we go into that one, we have a question from Angie Martin.
Okay, go for it.
She's asking, isn't there a font that is optimal for eBay?
Isn't there a font that's optimal?
Yeah.
One that you can read? I mean, really and truly.
I think it's like some people say to use I use Arial Bold in most of the cases.
Yep, that's definitely one that you'd want to use is Arial Bold. The other one would be just Arial or Times New Roman. Those are the ones that I stay with. And the reason why is that you want readability for the viewer and what could translate from a desktop to mobile most easy. So stay away from fancy fonts, and like I was mentioning at the very beginning when we were looking at Sean's, stay away from blinking templates and bright colored templates. Stay with basically black on, regular background color. I think Sean had a couple of, feature colors, and that's okay. That's all right. But with regards to font, the only time it should be any other color is if it's a link, and that's going to obviously be a blue, is going to be your best choice. And then if you have anything special or outstanding, for example, if you're running a sale, you could put that in a different color for that time period. If you, are running a promotion for free shipping or something like that. For example, on some of mine, part of the headline, it'll say free shipping on all listings, and that's in red. And then that's something I only do every once in a while, but otherwise just black on white, Arial Bold, and Times New Roman. Does that help?
It helps me. We'll see if it helps her. She
Okay.
also says, this is great. I've never had a listing gone over like this. Good info, Wesley.
Yay, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope it helps.
And we have another question from Dirt and Rust. If the item has tags but is wrinkled, should it be listed as new or used?
Oh, that's a really good question. I tell you what, I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Did y'all hear that? My screen sharing. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen sharing, and we'll chat a little bit. Okay, now the question asked was if it is a new garment because it has tags on it, but it's wrinkled, should it be labeled as new? Is that the question?
Yeah, new or used?
Okay, yeah. I would definitely, and I actually had somebody ask me about this with regards to smell. So I'm going to address both of those things. People buy too many clothes and they don't wear them all, and so there's still tags on them. They may be 5 years old, they may be 35 years old, okay? So they're still technically new in that they've never been worn. So what I would suggest you do with regards to that is you label it new with tags, and then in that very first description, I'll point it out over when we go back to look at the listings live again. In that very, first little minimal item description, you want to put in there, note, in all capitals, NOTE : this item is vintage. This item is 5 years old. This item looks to be from the 80s, but still has tags, therefore why I rated it new, and you can compress those words down. Now, with regards to it being wrinkled, this is what I would suggest you do. Put it on a hanger in your bathroom and take a really, really hot shower, and then hand press those wrinkles and see if they come out. If they don't, give it, if you can get a cheapo deluxe steamer. I got one at Bed Bath & Beyond for like $10. You could probably pick up one for less at a garage sale or at a estate sale. Go ahead and just steam that a little bit, okay? Now, with regards to smell, if it smells like mothballs or whatever, this is what I suggest for people to do. get yourself, like if it's a large suit, you're going to need a bigger plastic box. If it's a necktie, you need just a small box, right? You're not going to need a big one. But you want a plastic box with a lid, okay? You want to put in some powdered clothing detergent in there, and then put like a piece of copy paper or tissue paper or newsprint paper, with no print, laid on top of the powder, and then put the garment inside of it and seal it up and let it sit for probably a week. Take it out and smell it. If it still stinkies, go ahead and spray it with either Lysol or Febreze. Don't spray it with Glade scented rose, air freshener, okay?
Man.
Because Febreze and Lysol both will neutralize that odor and help it. So you want to spray it and then put it back in that box, seal it up, and let it be. Okay. If you do all those things and you still can't get the smell out, do not cut the tags off. Note it in the description. Note, I did a couple of things to try to get the mothball odor out. It is diminished, but it would be best suited for you to take this garment to get it cleaned upon purchase, which they're going to do anyway, but you're just kind of letting them know, hey, even though it's new with tags, it smells a little bit like mothballs, so you're going to need to wash it first. So does that help? Does that answer the question that the person had about the wrinkles?
With the wrinkles? With the wrinkles too, I learned from somebody a long time ago, like if you have the hangers that you can clip on or whatever to hang your clothes, you can hang your pants upside down, and the waist and everything, since it's heavier, will hold it down a little more, so that helps too.
Yep, absolutely.
And it really worked. I even tried it, and it really worked that night. It was
absolutely
good. So my pants were wrinkled for a convention the next day, and yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And then she told me that, I was like, oh.
Okay. Tell me again, how long have we got? Because we're at 8:30 right here, and I want to make sure I get to.
Yeah, we have a whole other hour, and I'm willing to stay on as long as you are, or as long as John is. And sometimes we get people that want reviews.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let's move on then. We'll go on to the next one. Let me get this screen share hopping again. And
Open up second one from.
While you're doing that, Wes, I'm going to ask the viewers if they like what we're doing. If you want to do another episode like this type of thing, let us know. Maybe we can get, not just Wesley, maybe we can get another viewer, another guest come on and do their point of view on listings. So that way you get different point of views and learn different ways to do things. What might work that Wesley might work for Wesley, might not work for us.
Right. Knowledge is power. The more you can get, the better you're going to be. Absolutely. Okay, can y'all see my screen? I've got the Tabasco shirt up.
Oh, well, I only see you still.
Nope, not good. Not happening. Not happening.
There we go. We got
it. Okay. I'm a little challenged here, so y'all bear with me. Okay, here we go. And this is the one where he was using that new template format. Okay, so let's see the difference here when we move on down. So again, just take a note, everybody, up here, how it looks. And again, this is what search engines see. This is those mystical, magical search engine spiders that go crawling by and find things, and they see, is this really what it is? And so we've got Tabasco short sleeve shirt, XL fishing, seafood, 100% cotton animal print polo. Okay. One thing I would put is Tabasco Company, and you can abbreviate that CO period, okay? Because somebody might be, say like if they search for a Tabasco short sleeve print polo, this shirt might come up. And then they would go, well, I don't want one about fishing and seafood, okay? So just make sure you would do something like Tabasco CO or Company if you've got room for it. Short sleeve is fine here. Let's see, fishing, seafood, 100% cotton. You could probably do without the 100% or the 100% up here, and note it down in the description area. Okay, that's a thought. Again, depending on the room that you've got. Cotton animal print polo. A couple things we were talking about in the chat before the show started. They actually came up with crawfish. They came up with, what else did y'all say? Cajun and something else?
Even crawdad.
Crawdad. So like if somebody's searching for that, because as y'all can see here on the shirt, that's what's kind of featured on the shirt. It's kind of like, you know, the New Orleans area, the Gulf Coast of Texas, you know, things like that. So obviously a fishing enthusiast is going to want the shirt, and that's how, you know, this has been noted here. So think about these when you're coming up with descriptions. Think about who the potential buyer could be and stretch it a little bit. Just as an aside here real quick, I had listed a little pewter lion that I found that it was actually looked like the ones that were on Princeton campus, and so I actually put that down in the description. So if anybody was out on the internet searching for Princeton lion, my little thing might come up. So always think about who your potential buyer might be. Okay, so good on that. Up here,
That's true.
as I was talking about with the wrinkles or the smell, okay, this would be where you want to put that. Okay, like new with tags, but is probably 10 years old, you know, something like that. You could put it up here, okay? And then you could put, again, to the best of my observation, shirt in good condition, no tears, holes, or stains, okay? So, because that's right here at the top, this area, and I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but this area, folks, just to let you know, is called the above the fold area, okay? This is the key area on any web page that is going to get the most important information, and this is where you have the opportunity to catch the person to buy, okay? So the more you can give here and here, the better, okay? And then obviously the price here, and then let's scroll down and look at the template that he's got going on. And obviously, again, this is the information that auto fills in, okay? And some of this I'm saying because it's, you know, a lot of people may know what this is, but if there's any beginners on here, they may not know how to get this information. So that's why I'm mentioning it as we go. Okay, now we're coming down here. This area in here that you see with this background and the green, this is going to be all the his new template, okay? And you'll notice just right off, I'm going to let you know this font color with this background is not good because it's very difficult to read. Now, with regards to search engine, it's still going to come up because search engine doesn't care what the font color is, okay? But definitely go ahead and make this, I would just change it to white. And if you want it to stand out, just increase the font, the size of it a little bit, okay? And just, you know, pop that up a little bit more there. Let's see, Tabasco short sleeve, extra large, 3-button folded collar, made in Thailand, no pockets, crawfish. Yeah, this area, just, you know, bulk it up. We've kind of addressed this already. And so beyond looking at the template itself, this information is still going to be what matters, because to a search engine, they don't care how fancy the template is. To a potential buyer, they don't care how fancy the template is. They want the information, okay? So I like this. I like how the template, you know, puts the pictures again down here. I like how it has tabs and stuff.
I added myself.
Oh, you did this yourself?
Yep, you add your own stuff in that, and what you want to write into what you each part.
Nice, nice. I am a little concerned about the colors though. Again, you know, what you're trying to sell here is the item. This green would look great on some things, but on others, you know, what if they hate the color green, but they really wanted that shirt, you know? Literally, these are psychological things that will prohibit people from buying, and if you ask them, they wouldn't necessarily be able to answer why, okay? So, you know, if you can find something with a little bit more of a generic-looking background, I would just split test it, you know, do some listings this way, change the template, list them again without any changes here, and see if anything changes much, okay, on sales-wise. But definitely, I cannot stress enough on the item description. This is where you could really go into saying how I usually do it, okay, on mine is that I give the basic information, and then I will always include in there something like, this shirt would be awesome for the sports fisherman in your life, you know, especially the guy that likes to get down in the, you know, the river delta near New Orleans. Just make a romantic little story. It doesn't have to be 20 pages long. It can be 2 or 3 sentences long, okay? But do romance it, because if somebody's looking at this and they're on the fence and then you say something about, the sports fisherman, and they go, yeah, you know what, Bubba is a big sports fisherman, and he was just talking about the crawfish boil coming up, and this would be such a great thing for me to get him.
Those are shrimp.
Are they shrimp?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, there's. Wait, what is? No, those look like crawdads. I don't know. I'm sorry, I only saw the shrimp. I didn't see the others.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But anything, whatever the item is, just romance it in some way. You could also note again that this shirt is a genuine Tabasco company made product. Note the image, note image number 2. With the one with the where you can see the tag of the Tabasco. Okay. Very good that you did no pockets. Very good that you did made in Thailand. Now, the one thing I want to ask you, and you don't obviously, it's not a respond thing, but where you put 100% cotton up here, and then it's in this area, which is excellent, and it's here again, go ahead and restate it down here. Okay, it's kind of like you're giving the bullet points of it. Like you could say white collar. You could say, I don't know what these colors are in there because I can't really see them too good, but you could put white collar, print shirt featuring brown, blue, green, yellow, and red. That's another thing that you can do, because again, you may be thinking on your listing that you're giving too much information that nobody cares about, but the great thing is that these things all have to do with search engine optimization and also the search feature here in eBay. Okay. All right, let's see. Payment is in PayPal. Okay, and then again, of course, his store listings are shown down here, which is great. Now, if y'all like the idea of a template or something, again, just to remind, check down in here. Okay, on his listing, you can click on that and then go take a look at some templates that they offer. So, was there anything else you wanted me to cover on this one specific?
Nothing that I can see. I don't know if there's any questions or anything in the group from the chat about it.
Okay.
Well, somebody was PM'd me saying those were like lobsters, going with the whole seafood type thing. Mm-hmm. I think they are supposed to be lobsters. That they do look like crawdads. So, mm-hmm. And that's the way they have it printed.
It could be like, wouldn't this be a great gift to give the sport fisherman in your life who loves to have a lobster boil once a year? Even if it's not true, it romances the item for the potential buyer. So now go ahead.
I see a question from Gladys Ramos. Glad to have you here. I did have the templates tested on the mobile. I asked Sean when I first listed a couple of things, have him look at it, and he said it was showing up fine and that it was not giving him any problems. So,
yeah, it looked good. Yeah.
I did at least have it tested to make sure I wasn't making any mistakes with it in that regards.
Yep. There's two from Texas Gal Treasures in that chat there.
That first one, the one up here at the top, the one that says Bollywood, that's your first one?
Etsy.
Yep.
Bollywood.
Okay. All right. Let me get that one set up here. All right. Let me go.
Everybody else wants to have it reviewed. Please get a hold of Sean or myself. I am actually on Facebook right now, still, so we can give Wesley your item number or whatever, and we can check it out live on the air.
Oh, congrats, Angie. You got a ka-ching. Usually somebody always gets one when we're on our shows.
Good deal. That's cool. Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Or Wheelie 5 always gets like 2 or 3 on the Toadcasts. So.
Good deal. Okay, we ready?
Yep.
All right. This is Miss Texas Gal Treasures, and this is Etsy. So this is another platform, and you'll see how the same principles are going to hold true here. Again, remember, it doesn't matter what says over here, okay? These platforms, Etsy, eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, whatever it is, it's the buyers that are different, but the way that search engines look is the same, okay? So you'll notice up here, she's got black and silver tone Bollywood inspired. Okay, looky here, black and silver tone Bollywood inspired. Okay, so I'm trying to point out to y'all where you're going to be able to find these things come up and why it's most important. You can see she has a very long title here, and that is one thing that Etsy does allow, is that you can have a very long title. But you'll notice how these words right here are the first and only words that come up. Okay, so very good on that one, because it is black, it is silver, and it is Bollywood inspired. Okay, what would be lovely is if she could have gotten jewelry up in that line somewhere. Okay, so one thing again you could try to do, instead of the word and, you could actually do the ampersand. Obviously, you know, 2 characters isn't going to be able to let you write jewelry up there, but think about things like that. You don't always have to spell out the word and. Okay, because the word and, to, of, from, about, you know, those things, search engines don't care about that. They're going to hit on black, silver tone, Bollywood inspired. Okay, so like in this instance, you might could do black ampersand silver Bollywood inspired jewelry set. Okay, and see if that would you know, fit all up into one thing. But just overall, these are excellent black and silver tone Bollywood inspired statement necklace. Okay, and earring set. Black and silver necklace and earrings, Art Deco jewelry. Okay, one thing on here, you've got necklace, necklace, and earrings, earrings, black and silver, black and silver. Okay, not really necessary. I know that in the way that Etsy, some of their searching is a little bit different, but in your title, try not to repeat the same words more than once. Okay, because it's where you can use these multiple words, and the repeat words is down in your description area. Okay, so let's look at her photos. First photo obviously is very good. White background, solid background. This is good and nice, uptight, close, and in focus. So very good on that. Little things. Notice how she made sure all these little baubles were straight as possible. Notice how these ear hoops are mirroring each other. It's these minor little things that, even though you may be a small seller, you're going to be able to compete with the big boys by doing things like that in your photos. Okay, moving to her next photo, she pulls back a little bit so people can get an idea of what it would look like from a distance. And again, she moves the earrings, but notice the minor things, the ear hoops. Okay, very, very nicely done on your photo images. This one gets a little bit dark, but it's actually kind of good, because what if somebody's not in direct sunlight and they're wearing this piece? They want to see what it kind of looks like. So that's okay that the lighting isn't, you know, perfect in that one. Very good here. She pulled an even tighter on the necklace. So photos, you get an A+, absolutely wonderful on that. Well done. Notice the price point that she's selling here. So again, I'm going to want to see, as soon as I scroll down, I'm going to want to see her give a lot of information and romancing this piece where I can't stand myself if I don't buy it. Okay, so again, let's just look real quick. Again, above the fold area. Okay, y'all be the judge. Did she capture your interest? Did she capture, ooh, let me read more. Do you want to scroll down? Okay, always think about that. Okay, going into the item details, and I'm not going into everybody's tabs and stuff. We're just looking at the descriptions and everything. Okay, notice how she gives some information, gives you a visual break, gives some more information, gives a visual break. Again, repeat, repeat. You can do this in eBay. You can do this on Craigslist. Okay, you can even do this in Amazon up to the maximum number of characters that they allow. So let's read. The magnificent jewelry set features lovely large black stones set into intricately decorated blah, blah, blah. Both earrings and necklace, blah, 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 blah. Okay, do you see how she, that hang and lightly jingle when they clink together? Do you see how she romanced her piece right here? She made the necklace and the earrings come alive. Okay, I can hear the jingle, and I can feel the weight on my neck. Okay, and then quickly she says, hey, necklace is this big, earrings are that big. She gives a note to her international shoppers. She gives a link to her store. I would probably move this down. Oh, wait, okay, see what you're doing here. She's got her Facebook and the other. All right. Let's see. Add to our shop. This, if you can make this a clickable link, that would be great. You may not can. All right. I would say in this area, give them even more information, okay? You can note in there, I don't know what the stones are, but they are cold to the touch. I don't know what the stones are, but they are warm to the touch. I don't know if this is silver or not, but it doesn't show tarnish. Okay, it's things like that that you can note so somebody might be able to determine. Also, with a piece this substantial, my mind as a woman and the earrings, you know, being the weight that they are, my mind is already thinking, yeah, how heavy are these bad boys? Am I going to tear my ear out? So that would be something you might want to note. You know, are these heavy? What is their approximate weight? You know, you could say, I put it on and it was, you know, substantial. It felt like the statement piece that it is. You don't have to say it was heavy. Romance every feature of the item, okay?
Romancing the stone.
Romancing the stones, literally, yeah, on this one, literally romancing the stones. Let me see, what else would I say? Good picture, just in general. Let me tell y'all this, where she's got this, it's of her face. Please do not make yourself unprofessional by showing a picture of your cat right here, or of a beautiful sunset, or a picture that your child drew. Go ahead and put your face there, or feature a really awesome product that you sell, okay? Just as an aside. So well done on that.
That means I have to change mine. I have Jack up there.
Okay. Does that help her? Does she any feedback, any questions additionally on that one?
He said super lightweight. You gotta add that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm saying, just in this area. And again, it could be as simple like your Texas gal in Houston, okay? Obviously, it's posted over here, but you can say, I will, you know, as soon as I get your order, I will ship this to you from Houston, Texas, okay? Or again, from Texas, all right? Because just to let them know kind of where you're at, you know, how fast is it going to get to them and things like that. Even though it's stated here, even though it's in your shop description, it's always good to give more information here. Now, one thing, just to reiterate, I would love to see you copy and paste in this area, okay? Because at that point, you've got it here, which is considered the headline on this web page, and you've got it in the body copy on this web page. So again, search engines are going to go bada boom, bada bing, got a picture, we want to do that. We want to rate this one high, okay? Another thing you might want to do, I know it's Bollywood inspired, but this could also be Indian inspired. It could be a costume for steampunk, you know, things like that. So not so much in the headline, but you could down here say this piece would be an awesome compliment to blah, 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 okay? And again, the people on Etsy, it's a different market. You know, it's mainly women over here. So think about, you know, romancing this item, no matter what it might be, to your potential buyers. Okay, and you said we had another one too?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, before you go to her next one, we have a question from Dirt and Rust. If you have a title with slash marks, should the slash be separated by a space as not to confuse the search engine? Did you get that?
No, it dropped out. You said you said something about
if you have a title with slash marks, should the slashes be separated by a space as not to confuse the search engine?
one more time.
It's in the chat.
It is in the chat. Okay. Oh, Dirt and Rust. If you have title with slash marks, should the slashes be separated by spaces? Yes, and thank you for saying that. And I would use dashes instead of slash marks. Okay, so just use a horizontal dash. And yes, do a little bit of a space. Do a little bit of space in there. Now, let's say it's like a company name. Well, let me just use this. I love using my little shot glass. So let's say it says Davy Crockett shot glass, and let's just say it said ABC Company on the bottom, okay? Davy Crockett should be separated. Shot glass, if you got to cram it together, you can, because shot glass is not a big deal. It can be shot or shot glass. But you wouldn't want to like do Davy Crockett smushed together, okay? So you need that space. So anywhere where you have a keyword that specifically needs to be noted, then yes, have a space before the word and a space after. And then, like I said, I would use a dash versus a slash mark. Does that help? Does that answer Dirt and Rust's question? I'm hoping.
Hope so. Sounded
Okay. Okay. And then let me see. We had another one from.
Well, we have another question also, just now from Pat Henley. Should the first few letters be exactly what you're selling? I took out vintage, which I started most of my items. I added it in later. Is this correct?
Yes. Yes, absolutely it is. The only time I would specifically use antique or vintage as like one of the first three words is if it is truly a remarkable item that you are going to sell for mega bucks, okay? Because then in that case, vintage or antique really has something to do with it. If we're talking like according to Etsy, vintage is 20 years old or older, I'm sorry, I don't want it to say vintage Pac-Man TV tray. That doesn't matter to me. You can say TV tray, blah, 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 Pac-Man, blah, 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 blah. And then in the description, this is a vintage Pac-Man TV tray. The reverse is dated 1980, or whatever. So yes, very good. And thank you for pointing that out, because you do need to be very aware of like the first probably 5 words that are going to be in your title description. Make sure they are relevant words. Some words you do not do: L @ K, rare, one of a kind. Please don't do that. Those make me want to puke on the floor. Do not do any of that kind of stuff, because you are wasting the characters that you have in your title. Again, think from the mindset of a newspaper person yelling, hear ye, or extra, extra, and then they say what the big headline is of the day, okay? And it's got to catch people fast. So thank you for bringing that up. Whoever asked it, I'm sorry I didn't catch who the person was that asked that, but that's a very good point to bring up. Thank you for sharing that.
That was Pat Henley, and Dirt and Rust said yes, that answered his question. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. I'm glad.
And Margaret, aka Texas Treasures, who you're going to be going back to for her next one on eBay, said that she's feeling she's going to get torn apart on her eBay listing because it's not as well, or as, how did she word it?
Well, and this is the same person, right?
Yep.
Okay, so number one, you already know you need to work on it. So good for you that you've already identified that. And then remember, as I've talked, everybody watching, your listing is not your listing. Your listing is a web page that you own. So treat it as a web page, and there are certain things in web pages, that are key. So let's go ahead and take a look here at hers. Let me get it pulled up. And just remember, all the things I said on the first one apply. All the things I've said on Sean's or Chris's or anybody's, this can apply to everybody's listings.
And while you're pulling that up, before you start, Wesley,
Uh-huh.
you want us to do some shout-outs? You do shout-outs in the beginning like we usually do?
Cool. I can do that. Let's see. Gotta go way up in the chat, though.
Well, go as far as you can. Most of the people I think haven't left.
Let's see. Well, first we had Larry's Treasures was first in the chat today. Pretty awesome. He was there an hour and a half early. I don't know what other people were doing, but yeah, he was ready and willing, ready and waiting. Or yeah. Justin Starcher, yeah, what's up, man? Hope he's still here. Texas Gal Treasures, as you know, welcome. Thanks for offering your listings as sacrifices. Marianne Tider, what's up? How's it going? She was a guest last week.
No, she was the
Two
third.
weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Brenda Cutler, Michelle Cavalier? Chevalier? Sorry. Yeah. Welcome. As I butcher your name. Um, 01 Wolf, what's up, man? I don't think I said hi to you earlier, but sorry about that. But yep, hello. Angie Martin, what's up, Angie? You cut off some people at the beginning, so I'm not sure if I missed anybody yet, but there are still more. Dirt and Rust, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Brian, Arbitrage Albatross, I can get your name right now. That's pretty good. Lots and lots of us talking. Poplar Picker, what's up? Yep, I should have remembered. How's it going? More of us talking and talking and talking. Still scrolling. Pat Henley, I should have known that automatically. Welcome. I think that's about it. There might be somebody else that just came in. Oh, and Gladys. Welcome, Gladys. Thanks for joining. Cool. I think that was about it. I might have missed somebody, and I do apologize. They cut it off at the top for me for some reason.
All right, Wesley, we get back on your roll. And
Okay, and can y'all see the screen? Is the little strawberry up?
Yep.
Fantastic. I always have to check. You always have to check on me. Okay, again, everybody note, vintage swivel strawberry mirror, red, green, strawberry plastic mirror compact. So the first thing, we all can say it together, she's got strawberry in there twice. So it looks like what you may have done is maybe you edited your listing after, okay? That is one thing. Once you put in your listing and you hit submit, whatever's there is going to be here. So even if you change it here, pretty much it does not change up here. And that's just the way the eBay works because, you know, they can't update everybody's things at every second. So, but vintage swivel, strawberry mirror, red, green, berry, plastic mirror, compact. Yeah. Mirror twice, okay, so not needed. You could put like purse compact, something like that to get another good strong keyword in there. But yes, absolutely do fill in your entire title. Use up every character that you can, okay? Now notice she put the vintage word down in here, but it is up here as well. And we just addressed that. So go ahead and take off vintage, okay? And then it'll be in this area. Now if you must, or if you feel it's really key because you have a lot of vintage items, just put this bad boy at the end, okay? So it should say like, swivel strawberry mirror, you know, blah, 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 purse compact vintage, okay? So that would be that in there. Now, again, looking at her picture, she's got a good solid background, and just the beginning is this image here, okay? So let's look at her next one. Looks like maybe her lighting was a little bit different, okay, which is fine. Here it is open, and then again open, and she kind of moved the little leaves to show that all the different pieces and parts move. And then here she's done something really good where she actually lays the tape measure down so people can get an idea of scale. Now, one thing on the images that I would state to you, this is absolutely precious, but this one makes more of a statement, okay? Y'all look at it from here.
I agree.
To here, okay? Make your image as much of a statement as possible. So I would definitely feature this one first, okay? But images overall are excellent. You did a very good job with the tape measure here. While I'm on this, let me make a note of that. A good thing to do when you have a little trinket or a collectible or something like that, put a tape measure up there, put a pencil in the picture, put a penny in the corner, something where people can get an idea of the scale of it. Okay, because they can really, you know, you can say, you know, something is 5 inches, 3 inches, 7 feet, but when you actually have something, oh, I know how big a penny is, so I can kind of get how big the item is, okay? Now, up in this area, good vintage condition, slight wear, I would note where is it, you know, and you could even note swings on grommet or swings on pin easily, you know, or is tight. You know, the swing part is very secure. You know, something like that noted up in this area here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and scroll down. Obviously, she's got her price here. A real quick note on pricing in general. I hate it that we have to put 14.99, but we do, okay? Go ahead and either do 0.99 or 0.97. Believe it or not, 0.97 sometimes pulls better than 0.99. Don't ask me why. It's psychological. It's garbage. It's stupid. I hate it. I've tried to just like list this for $15 and it doesn't work. So like where she's done here, $14.99, that's excellent. Where you can start just putting zeros is when you start getting up into the $200,000, $500,000 range for an item, okay? And then that's okay a little bit up in that way. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll down here if my computer will allow it. Okay. All right, y'all still with me?
I'm here.
Yeah, it got really quiet all of a sudden. I was like, oh,
I had to go somewhere, so he said,
okay, okay, all right. And so we've got down here in her description area, and again, you'll note that this is the same thing that was up in the top. Okay, now just real quickly, because she already knows I'm gonna rip her on this one. If this were the image, okay, if this were her listing right there, that makes you want to scroll down and read more, right? And then you go down like here, and it's wah wah. Okay. So I definitely want to see you bulk up this area down here. Go ahead and change that font back to either the Arial bold, or the Times New Roman. I usually save bolds and things like this, and this kind of goes back to an earlier question. I usually save bold for specifically for headlines or something like you're really wanting them to take note, like here's the features of this piece. You know, that could be in bold as well. And then the rest of your text can just be in regular, you know, non-bolded font. I like the size of this. You've done a good job on the size. So whatever size this is excellent. You've done really well here. Go ahead and put spaces when you have a dash, okay? Because again, it's just going to help with search engine optimization just in general. Like here, condition, you know, with spaces, good, vintage condition, slight wear. Go more in detail with that. Why did you note it as being slight wear? Is the mirror scuffed? Is the mirror loose? Are some of the little seams, you know, around the edge broken? Is there dirt mashed down into one of the things? Now, another thing, if you don't want to note that all, definitely what I would do, parentheses, please see individual photos for better detail. Parentheses. Okay, you're just pushing them back to go, you know, find the information for themselves. All right, in that case, and where you have brand unbranded, that's fine. You know, if you want to put that in there. Again, I want you to romance this one just like you did over on Etsy. Now, some people may say, well, on Etsy, my listings are going to be up for a long time. Over here, if I'm just in the auction, you know, I've got it for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 3 days, whatever. So I don't want to waste a lot of time. Well, that's fine if you feel that way. But I tell you what, if she spent just a little bit more time, and think if she could list, you know, 10 of these a week on eBay, that's $150 to just spend a little bit more time on her listings down here, okay? And then remember, again, as you're listing the item, I do want to see y'all put in that, see my other items, and it's auto link. And I think it's like follow me or something like that, and then auto link, okay, for inside of eBay itself. Description, lovely strawberry mirror that swivels up. Okay, again, this area down here, go ahead, copy your title, put it in down here, and turn this into a good sentence. This vintage swivel strawberry mirror would be adorable in any little girl's purse, all the way up to that sassy professional businesswoman. The colors are featured red and green berry with the plastic mirror, and it's a perfect compact size. Do you see how I'm using these exact words but making it into a sentence? Okay, and you can change this 100 different ways. You know, if we played some kind of game right now, I'm sure everybody could come up with 5 or 6 different sentences different from each other using these same keywords. Again, why is this important? It's in the title here, or in the URL here. It's in the title here. We've brought it down and we've pasted it down here. So again, when those mystical, magical search engine spiders come in, they're going to love this so much they can't help but put this at the top of the eBay search results and of the Google shopping or whatever search results, okay? So just pattern, Texas Gal, pattern what you've got going on eBay where you romance that over here. Give me a little bit more description, and again, where is it coming from? I'll ship this to you fast from Houston. Let's see. Another thing that you might do, and this is just kind of an aside, not picking on her in general, but say like she has a cute little sassy red purse for sale at this same time, she could definitely put in the description down here. Be sure to note the red purse I have that would go great with this item. That's what's called cross-selling, and that's another kind of an advanced selling feature that you would want to think about, you know, what can, instead of just selling one item to somebody, how can I sell two? Okay, so everybody can think about those things as well. But yeah, again, just I'm very happy to see that you did not put any kind of crazy blinky stuff here, so very awesome job. Black on white works well. That's not a problem. Very good. And again, just give a little bit more description. Let's see, the size. You've got the size of it, so that's good. You might also do not just the top to bottom dimension, but give like the widest dimension as well, even though it's very close in size. Okay. All right. How does that one work? Are we good on that one?
Yep.
Okay. Fantastic.
And Michelle Wood is in the house too.
Whoop, whoop. Now this is really good. Let me, I don't know if she's using a template or not, but this is pretty cool. I think these are some more of her items, so y'all can see how they're nice and uniform as well. Okay, so that's important too. Is how do your images look compared to each other? This is one of the things I teach my people to do. She's got a black background, a blue background, a gray background, a two-tone background, a solid white background, a background with a stand. So where your picture sizes are good, I would love to see you have a uniform background on all of them. Okay, so that would just be a little side note there. Okay, awesome, fantastic. Have we got anybody else who's bold enough to?
Yeah, we have one more for you, but before we do that, since we're getting about 15 minutes before the actual end of the full show, and if we decide to go extra, we're going to go extra.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we have a couple other comments. Somebody asked about that we haven't usually cover item specifics. Well, you covered it earlier, but on the last couple ones that we didn't cover how the item specifics work. I don't know.
Now, what exactly? I don't understand what you're asking me.
Well, they said you didn't comment on item specifics.
On this one I just did?
Yeah, because we're not.
I think she's doing that thing in general. I don't. It's from Gladys.
Yeah, it's in general.
Item specifics, like.
Yeah, like in.
On the top, when you were on my suit, I showed the size, all the brands, and everything else. That's what.
You're the little drop-down menus as you're listing on that side right there.
Okay.
Is what they're talking about.
Okay, let me. Whoops. Hold on.
It's usually right underneath where it says all conditions and all that stuff.
Why is my screen? There we go. It wasn't working. Okay, so item specifics like. Where am I at?
Scroll down a little bit. Like right there, see the yellow right there? Underneath it usually has all that stuff in there too.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for pointing that out to me. Yeah. Normally on the other ones that you saw that the other guys had, like on the suit and things like that, it gave, what, size or whatever. This, again, is very important. In the olden days of eBay, they did not have this, and it was up to all the individual sellers. But, of course, as they get bigger, they want to compete with people like Amazon. They want to compete with other websites. So they have incorporated, these autofill things that they just automatically put in on each listing based on your seller profile and information. So it's very important on item specifics to put in information that they offer you as you can. Sometimes, like for example, an item specific is what company? Well, she doesn't know the company because there's no name on this, so that's okay to skip that. But she's already said, that it's red and green and plastic, so I do know that she has put in green down here, but she could also do red. Material is going to be one of the options, so that could be, noted as plastic. So anything that you can include in this area is going to help your listing in general. And again, don't worry, you can repeat it here as well. Don't do one or other. This isn't an either or proposition. It's a yes and both, please. Okay? So make sure you do that. Is that kind of what y'all were talking about in the item specifics, giving a little bit more information? Okay. And you do note that she does note it is used, which is excellent, okay? And then she notes it even further that it's vintage, okay? So that's really important that that is put in there that way. So that's a good job on that one.
Okay.
Texas Gal Treasure says, "Oh, I thought I was done."
Thank you very much for being the first bold person to step forward and say, "Yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot." So I hope I was able to give you some concrete information to take away and work on your listing. So well done on Etsy. Room to improve on eBay, but you know what you need to do. You knew that before we even looked over there. So good job. Good job on that. Let's see.
She's mostly Etsy seller anyway, so she got all that experience behind her. If I remember right.
Okay.
She'll correct me. She's a Texas girl too. She'll make sure I get it right.
I wanted everybody to know that Wesley does have a program out that I am in, and I will be getting a referral out of this. What she has offered, if you get an email to her to go through her program, which she will explain, and tell her that you went through me. I don't know exactly what she'll be giving away or taking off of her program, but we have worked out a kind of a deal for my viewers.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The program itself has a really wild and exciting name. It's called the Selling Online Training Series. pretty straight and straightforward. But yeah, definitely, the Selling Online Training Series came from, actually it's an outcropping from my YouTube channel, which I have tons of information up there about selling online, but the Selling Online Training Series goes a little bit deeper, and whether you're brand new to selling online, whether you're a long-term veteran to selling online, or whether you're high volume or small volume, the ideal candidate for Selling Online Training Series is going to be someone who's new or fairly new or a smaller volume seller. However, the principles I teach on there are going to be applicable to anybody, okay? It's not just those new people. So as y'all are hearing here, I know a lot of y'all are long-term veteran sellers, and I can guarantee I've shared something today that a light bulb went off for you. And that's my goal, is to share information. And it's like I said, knowledge is power. So, you're going to learn from me. You're going to learn from experience. You're going to learn from feedback you get. Hopefully, you're going to contact your people that you've sold to and get information that way. But the Selling Online Training Series is a self-paced program. And there's basically 3 different sections, of how to get set up, the foundation part, how to build on that, and then how to actually grow your business exponentially. And the main selling platforms I cover are eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, and Etsy. They're all unique. They have unique items sell better on some platforms than others. And so that's what this program is all about. So if you're interested, I have a website set up, but what I'd rather do, because I need to find out who's coming from this audience, so where I can thank Chris for the referrals, okay? So Chris is going to benefit from this, and so what I need y'all to do, instead of, you can go online and search it if you want to, but what the better thing is going to be for you to do is send me your email address to my email, and then I will send you some information. I will send you an invoice, and if you want to pay the invoice, like if you decide you want to get into it, fine, okay? But I'm going to give you that information. You have to understand I'm not hard sale. So don't think that I'm going to be, nagging you to death or whatever. This is more of a thank you for Chris for having me on his show. This is the 2nd time now, in a way that I can help his audience as well. So again, if you're interested, I believe Chris put my email address in the description of the video. It's WesleyGW@hotmail.com. Really, unique and interesting and unusual, right? So, but yeah, just shoot me an email. you know, and like I said, I'll give you information. I'm going to go ahead and send you an invoice too, but don't feel like you have to pay it, okay? I'd like for you to pay it. Chris would like for you to pay it. I'd like to help you. Because here's the whole deal about it is that if you don't make your money back within a month of listing stuff from what the cost of the program is, then we've got bigger problems, and we need to work on it further. So I think the fee is very reasonable, and the great thing about it is that even though it's a self-paced course, you're going to have membership forever. It's not a repeating fee. And as new things come about, I will be updating it as it goes along. So it's not one of those stagnant things, you know, learn 5 tips and you're done and you've paid an exorbitant amount of money for no benefit at all, okay? So I really want to make this beneficial and long-term. So did that kind of give y'all enough information? Let me know if I need to give you a little bit more description on that before we move on.
And as Wesley said, I did put the email address. I put it underneath the link to her YouTube channel. So if you're seeing this a month later, you'll still know how to get hold of her. Just I would suggest when you do that, say I got this from the Walking Pickers YouTube channel, so that way she knows where the email is coming from, and she can work without whatever she has to at that time.
Exactly, exactly. Because I want to make sure that I know where people are coming from, and that's why I didn't want to just send y'all to. Chris and I talked about it earlier. It's like, how should we do this? You know, and I was just going to send y'all to a website, and I thought, no, let's just do the email way. So I'm kind of putting myself out there, giving y'all my personal email. So please don't abuse it, or I'll have to fuss at you.
I did notice earlier in the comments, One Wolf said that he hasn't, or she hasn't received the invoice from you yet.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
From early on, when you first let it go.
Let me
you have at least 2 more, or I know of 1 more listing that somebody wants to have you check over if you're willing.
Oh, sure.
Time.
Sure.
And I did tell someone else to send Sean a PM with their listing that they wanted to do, so we might have 2 more volunteers. One is from Auntie Martin, and the other one is from Michelle, that one girl, with Michelle Wooden on Facebook.
Okay, so she wants me to go to her, well, wait, the first one is the Etsy listing?
First one's Angie, yeah.
Card, body, whatever it says. Okay, let me open that up. And
Angie Martin, she's the next willing sacrifice.
Oh, I just shared Michelle Wood's store, listings. So you can look at it that way, maybe pick one. If she can tell us in the chat, that'd be cool, but otherwise you can pick one from there.
Okay, do y'all see my face right now?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to log in real quick because I think I was on Etsy too long. And that's one thing is that Etsy will not let you just browse a lot. You have to actually, whoops, hello. You have to log in over there. Okay, technical difficulties. Play the technical difficulty songs for me, please. Y'all hold on.
As I said earlier, everyone, if you'd like to have us do more shows like this, it's kind of what I was hoping for next when I started this year. Please let us know, and we'll see what we can work out. And
Dirt and Rust said he hopes another one will be done. I believe that was who said that.
Okay.
I know Andy thinks she wanted one done too.
Yeah.
Okay, that one link, guys, the one that's right at 9:08 p.m., that link is not taking me anywhere. Even when I'm logged in, it doesn't take me to anything.
Huh.
Can we get a store name of that person? Can we get an Etsy store name? And
that's Angie. She sent us just the Etsy.com. That's where it goes to sign up.
Okay.
So
can we put that one on hold and go on to the next one?
Yeah, yep. She said she might have problems with sending it to him, so we got another one for eBay.com, the last one, which is Michelle Wood's store.
Okay. Get that one up over there. And my computer is like, no, I don't want to share. No, okay, all right.
Just so you know, we will get reminded that we do have sound effects.
Yeah, I just saw that.
That's true. We need that, don't we? Okay, can y'all see the screen?
I still all I see is your picture, but as long as the viewers can see it, I am happy. I will be fine.
Okay, all right. So as long as y'all can see it, am I sharing? You are sharing, yes. Okay, so it should be there. All right. So this, now did she just want me to kind of do of all the listings or one in particular?
She didn't say one in particular, but not yet anyway.
Okay. Well, what I'll do here is, you know, this is her. It looks like these are all hers. She's got 15. This is her store or her username, obviously. And then these are her different listings. So let's just kind of look at it from this frame point, okay? If you are advertising yourself throughout social media, you know, hey, come look over at my eBay shop, okay? This is what they're going to see. So again, let's set ourselves apart as professional as the next guy, all right? So this is kind of an interesting way to look at it, you know, before she gives us the specific one she wants us to see. But do note, okay, we've got a horizontal, we've got a vertical, we've got an up close, we've got a different colored mannequin, we've got it laid down flat, we've got it at an angle, we've got a different background here. Do y'all see the benefit of having a uniform background and a uniform, like if you're going to use a mannequin, the uniform angle, you know? Anything where it can be something like this or something like, where did it go, like this one, or even like this, okay? But what I'd rather see is when I come to this page, say, because, you know, all this is closed, all right? All this right now is closed, so we're just going to focus on that. What I would love to see is a bunch of mannequin pictures, all turned at about a 3/4 angle, all right, with the same lighting and the same background. That would be absolutely wonderful, okay? And this is as it's listed this way. Now watch how much more dynamic that would be if somebody came over here and looked at gallery view, all right? Think about how dramatic that's going to be for a potential shopper if they can come here and immediately it's garment, 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 garment. They're not having, their eyeball isn't having to distinguish, oh, different backgrounds, oh, this is vertical, oh, this is up close, oh, it gets what's called visually confusing, okay? But imagine, just look right here. Just look right here at these two. Just look at those two. Imagine if this page was full of 3/4 turned mannequins, okay? Same lighting, same background color. Doesn't matter that the garment is different, okay? So definitely, you know, that's going to be my first thing that I'm going to say on all these just across the board is that you want a uniform background, uniform color. Go ahead.
Sorry, the one you were just at, that Rex something or other. Go one more down.
The dress?
That, yeah, that one right there.
Is that the one she wants me to do? Okay, yeah. Awesome. Fantastic, fantastic. So that gives everybody just some thoughts about your store, okay? Because as you're out there and someone's not on eBay and you're going to want to send them to this link, okay, this is what they're going to see, all right? So let's say I'm shopping over here and go, oh, this is fantastic. This is the dress I want. So we're going to click it and we're going to look at it here. And again, notice at the top, Rex Lester, black, strappy, sleeveless, full length, evening dress, gown, size 6, EUC. Fantastic. I cannot say enough good things. This read very straight across. It gave immediately, it's a black dress, it's a strappy dress, it's a sleeveless dress, it's a full length, it's an, oh, it's not just a dress, it's an evening dress, gown, okay? Very, very nicely done. If this were a sundress, obviously the word gown would not be in it. So you can see how simple words, dress and gown, similar, but how gown steps it up a little bit. So again, in a search engine optimization situation, gown is here, gown is here. Now, y'all know where I'm going to look for gown next. It's going to be below the fold, all right? But before we get there, let's go ahead and look at her photos, all right? Fantastic. I love, again, the 3/4 shot here is wonderful. It looks to be just a mild bit out of focus, all right? So you want to work on that, okay? Back, very nicely done. Full front, excellent. And then she shows the length of it here. He or she, I'm sorry, I don't know if this is a male or female. And again, up close, again, a little bit of the detailing. On this shot, what I would do is pull the camera angle down into this area, like just right in this area. Not that close, obviously, it's enlarging a lot. But here you're mainly seeing a mannequin. Okay, so it's a female. Okay, awesome. Okay, but see, you've got a lot of the mannequins showing, and that's kind of not needed. So you can get it very close in this area and just show the detail of the bust at the front. Okay. And then, because like here you've shown the detail of the buttons on the back, so just do the same thing on the front. Very nice on the pictures. Let's see. Oh, she's got even more. This is fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful. This is the hard part, okay, when you've got a long evening gown, obviously the floor is going to come into play. So the thing I'm going to tell you on this, and it's a pain in the butt, and I know that it is, you take pictures of everything else, and then when you're ready to take a picture of the hem, you take this white sheet down, you move it down the wall, you pin it back up, you drape it on the floor, and then you take the picture at the bottom, okay? I know it's a pain in the butt. For the price of this dress, though, it is so worth it to do that, okay? Here she shows some great detailing of the seaming and the, you know, the zippers and everything else. And why is this important? And again, here's the tag. Why is this important, okay? First of all, she could probably honestly sell this dress for more than $30, in my opinion. But, you know, that's just me. But she's shown every little bit in detail of it, okay, because it is a very dramatic, it's a statement dress. So pictures, images, very good here. And let me get back to that one. All right. Again, just this, being that this is the main photo, it is just a little bit out of focus, so I would redo that one. All right. Now, looking here again at the top, she's got pre-owned. That's awesome. Very good. Possibly worn once. Full length with side slits. Lovely condition, no flaws. Now, see how she put possibly? Okay, I'm guessing because I'm an online seller, so I know this, but I want to point this word out to y'all. She's probably bought this at a garage sale or an estate sale. She may have looked at it and it looks brand new, but she's not going to note it as brand new because she's not for 100% sure. So that's why she puts in the word possibly. Now, if I'm wanting to buy a really nice dress for an event, I would love to get a new one, but I'd rather pay $30 for one that says it's pre-owned. When I get in here and I go, oh, it's possibly, wow, that word right there indicates to me as a potential buyer that this dress is in such excellent condition, it's almost a shame to note it as pre-owned. So I, as the potential buyer, am going to get a steal on this dress, okay? So again, on item condition in this area, that's a great place to put things like these qualifier words is what these are called. Possibly worn once. Lovely condition. This is where those words can come into play. All right, so well done on that. You did a good job on that one. The one thing is no flaws that I can find or that we found, you know, looking over the garment. Again, be sure to cover your behind on noting things like that. Okay, and then obviously the autofill step here, and then we're going to move down a little bit. Now, remember on the other one that we just did with the little red strawberry purse, this is, again, to remind you, people that are brand new and people that are not, you can see the difference here again, okay? Now, remember, this is the above, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is the above the fold area. When you first come here, and I should be at 100%, yeah. So if somebody's on a desktop, this is what they're going to see, or on a laptop, okay? This is the above the fold, which is fantastic, okay? Now, as we scroll down to 100% to the next section, you know, this is where my eye draws first if I am a buyer on eBay, okay? Because this is what I'm going to be looking for. Again, it's just restated from the top. You've got brand, size, you know, or the type, excuse me, it's regular. It's not tall. It's not short. It's not, you know, women's size. It's not petite, anything like that. And then she gives the different information here, sleeveless style, the material, excellent, down to the 59%, okay? She didn't just put this and that, and this is something to note when you're filling it in. It's going to do drop-down menus that give you like one item or one material choice in this case. You can also select to input your own. So she's done an excellent job here of breaking it down to 59 to 41, and that's what it says on the tag. So well done on that. And again, of course, you know, it's filled out the rest of the way here. So if anybody is searching for a Rex Lester, this is going to come up. If anybody's searching for a black sleeveless full-length dress, this is going to come up. Okay, so that's what these keywords end up coming into play. And again, remember, you can repeat any of these in your description down here. So let's check it and see what she did. Okay, she's done a good job here of centering her title. This is something that I haven't addressed too much, but because this formatting is different, I'm going to be able to pick her a little bit on this one. So the title here being centered, this is excellent. What I would do is I would set the title apart from this since you are putting the title down here. I would want to make this font a little bit larger and make this a little bit smaller, okay? So that would be the first thing. The next thing, please do not center your text. I see, now I know you can go right now on eBay and you can look up somebody that has, you know, 10 million stars up here, if there's somebody that can actually have that many, and they're going to have the center text, all right? Well, good for them, but I would rather you have best practices as you're building your business, and that's going to be a left justified font only, or left justified text only, okay? The only exception would be the headline, or like at the bottom, if you have those links that I've mentioned, those can be centered as well, all right? But we in America are used to reading left to right, and if you open up any novel, any newspaper, any magazine, it's going to be left to right, left justified, okay? You don't need to do full justification where it's even on both sides, because then the words get all weird looking, so just go ahead and do left justified. So she's done really good here in reusing those key words that she did at top. And you notice long black dress for formal or evening gatherings. Again, she's using a romance word in here, okay? I would even go so far as to say this long black dress would be the perfect fit at any formal or evening gathering, okay? Go ahead and make those sentences a little bit more wordy and a little bit more romancing there. She goes again and talks about how they look like ribs. So she gives them more description here, but she doesn't put that up here. If she'd put ribs up here, somebody that's looking for some kind of goth thing with actual bone ribs or something might, you know, get this dress. And so she knows to put the ribs down in this bottom area, okay? Let's see, going up size, plunging down the back. The dress zips up at the back, waist area. Strappy ribs have black snap buttons. Notice she's put snap, okay, snap buttons. There's a 25-inch slit on one side. The gown is fully lined. These are important things to note, all right? See the measurements of the garment laying flat. So the length, tell me where the length is. Is that from the strap to the hem, okay? Do that, strap to the hem. Waist, or width at waist, armpit to armpit, okay? So that's really good right here. Another length I would note in this dress specifically, for those who are well endowed or who are not very well endowed, from the seam area to where this is right there. And then they can lay a tape measure on their chest to see if that's going to be, you know, if they're going to feel comfortable with that area right there. Obviously, anatomy kind of shows us that, but it's always good to note those things. Also, maybe the dimension from here all the way to there, okay? Because then they can kind of note, okay, if that's under my armpit, where's that going to hit me on my waist, okay? So that would be just additional dimensions that I would give. Also, if note any flaws, I mean, up here you have no flaws. So where you've already said it's possibly worn once, you know, lovely condition, this is where you could go into even more detail and say, you know, maybe this was your dress that you owned, or you could say, you know, this is a lovely garment that I found one day when I was out, you know, sourcing items, or when I was shopping to find more inventory for my clients. And I was amazed that this dress was in such great condition. I want to list this as new, but it's not. So that's why I put it as, you know, pre-owned. But understand that this is a lovely garment, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's where you can go into even more detail down here to give them the specifics. Remember earlier when I was talking about, you know, if it has a smell in it, and you've tried everything that you can do, again, you know, that's where you're going to note that. So either pro or con can be noted in this area. But that in general is what I see on most listings today. And I know, again, this harkens back to, you know, trying to get a lot of listings up and get them done fast. And I understand that. Trust me, I do. But here's the beauty of it. As you know, once you create the listing, it's done. Even if, you know, even if the auction ends, that listing doesn't go away. So you have to start looking at it from the frame point of, you know, take that time to do that listing well and go from that point forward, because once you've got all that good description in there, you don't ever have to go back and change it, and it's always perfect. So again, having said that, that evening gown, you could say it's great for the opening at the opera, a Christmas, a holiday party, or to ring in the new year, or to celebrate that special birthday you have coming up. Do you see how I just placed that dress 365 days? And it's the same thing whether it's a toy, clothes, a book. Put it in different periods in time. Put it in different locations in their home. Talk about it being a gift. Talk about it being for their collection. Talk about it being perfect for the collector. They know, okay? Romance that item so it's not just, this is a really cool shot glass. It's blue and it has a cool quote from Davy Crockett about Texas. Oh, and it has a star. Really, really go into detail. Really go into detail about y'all's items. Did that help? I hope that one helped her. But overall, just really good listing, really good information. Again, this looks like maybe this is Arial bold. So where if you didn't want to change the font size of this, you could just make this just normal Arial too. That's another way. Save that bold, save larger font for something that you're trying to draw the potential buyer's attention to at that time.
Well, we have one last here so far that I know of, and they actually just gave the store, one Angie's from Etsy, the Dazzled Vintage.
Okay.
That's her store.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're pulling that up, Dirt and Rust put possibly one of the most lovely tips tonight. While you're using that as your little
description and all that stuff, yeah. Like possibly worn once, so yeah. That's cool.
So he said he was practicing.
I'm asking Angie if she wanted a specific item besides just in the store itself.
Okay. All right. Her store should be up now, I believe. Dazzled by Vintage, is that right?
Yes, yep. That's her store.
Good. I wanted to make sure we had it at the right place. Okay.
You just said the vintage cards, 16 of them with feathers, Mexico.
Yep, the fourth one over right there at the top.
Okay. Let's find out. All righty. All right, so here we go, all right? Again, we're on Etsy, and she's got her store. Now, notice how she has a lovely item here. That's fantastic, okay? Remember how on the other one she had her face, and that was great? This is fine on Etsy, okay, because it's a specific item, and she's got it's very graphic looking, and it translates well, so this is a good thing. So good job on that. And again, remember, look up here, Vintage Mexico, handmade, hand-painted. Vintage Mexico, handmade, hand-painted. So again, I'm just pointing out where that comes out, okay? What you might want to do is, let's see, Vintage Mexico, handmade. I would like to see the word feather and card up in there. And I know the vintage is important on this one, but you might work on that, but I think just this title is fine. This is great. I'm looking at optimizing this area more, okay? Because Vintage Mexico, handmade, hand-painted, if I'm looking for pottery, that would come up. If I'm looking for a sombrero, if I'm looking for, do you see what I'm saying? So these words right here are a little bit too broad for what you've got, okay? So like I said, the feather would be fun to have on there, and if nothing else, it could be cards. Thank you cards or note cards could be up in there too. So let's go ahead and let me move it down a little bit.
Quick question.
Okay.
It might be obvious, but if you wanted to like correct all the things, like like mainly I'm thinking like in my picture one, or the art frame, whatever. If I wanted to like totally just redo it, it would fix that the title up there in the description, right? It would end up there in the search.
Would. It absolutely would. So that would be one thing.
Delete it and then do a whole new one.
Yeah. Well, before you delete it, if you've got information in there in your description area that you like, just do a copy, a copy paste. Then you
Cool.
can go and delete it, okay? And then you have all that text still that's done. Because you may like your text, but you may want to change it a little bit. And so that way, it's, you know me, any shortcut you can do, the better.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look here. She's got, let's see, 16 of them for $30. So again, that's a very fair price, I think, that she's got here. Now notice how she's kind of got them fanned out so you can get an idea. She's got a nice solid green background. And again, this is just me right down here, okay? Because if I'd come here and this whole thing was green, I'm just looking here. I'm just looking here. I may look at your sparkly blue nail polish, but I'm mainly looking here, okay? But this is a little unfortunate. It's not the end of the world. Don't have a panic attack over it. But, it may be something that you want to look at. Now, notice here how she's gotten them even more detailed. Just a few of them are shown. This is wonderful because you can see how it's kind of three-dimensional popping up, okay? Notice how she's gotten in real tight on the image, okay? Even though it's dark here and it's a little light up here, it's so close in and focused that this differential doesn't really make that big of a difference, all right? Next one. Now she's put it on a different background, okay, just to kind of put it in a different presentation and gotten really tight in so you can see now that this is fabric and this looks like a little basket weave. And then again, we go back here to some more images. So she's done a good job showing them in a variety of light, because this is obviously outside and this is obviously indoors, okay? So, and then that can, again, because you have to do this as part of just your best practices on Etsy because of who the clientele are that are over here. She's done a good job on showing different backgrounds, different lightings up close, so people can really get an idea of what is involved with these cards that she's got. So let me go back here to her title a little bit. Vintage Mexico, handmade, hand-painted, feather applied, feather birds, art cards, mixed media, 16 unused cards with envelopes. Okay, vintage is fine. Mexico, hand-painted, handmade, feather applied. Okay, you got feather twice, and we've talked about that before. So again, what you might want to do is vintage, let's see, art cards, Mexico scene, birds, and people or something like that. Birds, applied feather, mixed media. You see, when you start talking about feather, it's mixed media, 16. You're getting into more of the definition, definitive, because kind of with I think you had put it. No, it wasn't up here. But with it being feather birds, you're specifically saying, yeah, the birds have feathers, but this dude doesn't have a feather, and that's fine. That's what you should do. So that's really good that you've done that there. And then notice here on the overview, I think I missed that on the other one, so my apologies to the people of those other items. But notice on the overview, she's got, there's one available, and again, these are auto fill-in. The one available and the price of things that you note on Etsy itself. Vintage item from the 50s. I would put estimated from the 50s unless they're like yours, okay? And then just note where you got that date down in your description. You note what the materials are, which is great, and ships worldwide from the U.S. Again, those are autofill things. So we're going to come down here and look at her description. These charming old 1950s cards are from Mexico, a rare find, and these are unused and have the envelopes. That's wonderful to note that there. Very good job on that. Cards measure, envelopes a bit larger, and see, that's fine. She doesn't have to measure the envelope, because obviously the cards are going to go in there, and she's noting, hello, yeah, they're a bit bigger. You don't have to measure the envelope. Handmade and hand-painted, they feature applied feathers that form, blah, 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 prettily, blah, blah, blah. Also little Mexican people, men and women, doing various tasks. You can put like various daily tasks, cloth applied, clothing, etc., bit of yellowing, and wear commensurate with age. I love that word commensurate, because that word right there is very applicable to the to the Etsy clientele, okay? Big 25-cent word there, great for the Etsy clientele. Lovely and special, a unique gift. Again, tell me, how do you know they're from the 50s? Give me the story. Did you buy them? Are they yours? Were they your parents? Were they from an estate? So tell me how you find that. A rare find in these, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then also, because you pretty much immediately go into the description of the items themselves, which is great. Do not delete any of this. I want to see you add on to this and say these cards could be used to say thank you for the, the dinner party that you attended. They could be framed. They could be used to card your handmade jewelry that you're going to sell. Again, romance the items in different arenas at different times of year for different purposes. Because somebody might go, well, I don't need note cards that have a Mexico scene on them. Well, maybe not, but could they frame them? Could they give them to somebody that's going? Are they going on a trip to Mexico? How fun would that be to have these in their suitcase to send letters to home? So again, just romance these, because these the different potential buyers for this is there's a lot of different things. Vintage card people would buy it. People in Mexico would buy it. Folk art kind of stuff, primitive art, dimensional note cards. There's a lot of different arenas that these can be sold. So again, place these items in the hands of your potential buyer in a lot of different ways. Okay, let's see. Also, a little much. Yeah, but I like the way that you've done your wording here. Again, I would just do more of it. Now, one thing that's just kind of a text copywriting, 101 type things, where she's got a paragraph going here, with no spacing or anything. This is fine. This is not a problem. But to optimize it even more visually, not so much search engine. It's not going to help or harm you this way. You've got a sentence here, do a hard return, so you have an empty space, and then you have another sentence, and then do a hard return, and then an empty space. If you remember back to, I think it was the first ladies that we did, the Texas gal, where she had a sentence or two, and then some white space, and then those dashed lines, and then white space, and then more sentences. Think of it in that way. Give the eyeball space to breathe when your potential buyer is reading, okay? One thing I'm going to note while we're on this page, she's got a lot of feedback, which is excellent. One little trick that I tell everybody to do, because many of the social media buttons pop up on Etsy and on eBay, sometimes on Amazon, and not ever on Craigslist, but on any site where you have these that pop up that have a number here, don't ever let it say 0. If you have to like it yourself or favorite it yourself, or you have a buddy on Etsy that will favorite for you, or you can call you can call Chris or Sean or me, ask us to favorite it. Whoever, find a buddy to give you a one here, give it here. Go ahead and share it to these different spaces, okay, because that gets it out there. Generally, my method of practice once I do a listing is I let it list, and then a couple of hours later, I go boom, 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 boom. And I just, I go ahead and I share it across all my social media sites. Well done here. See if you can go back and capitalize the D, the B, and the V in your name, okay? Because, again, it visually, so they can read it a little bit easier, all right? But well done again on the pictures. That first one, maybe just address that a little bit more, and then break this up and add a little bit romancing of it in there. Oh, and this is another thing to note too. Do note, use these as much as you can. These are keywords that Etsy allows you to add in. This is actually a good way. This is a little cheat tip, kind of a bonus tip. One of the things I start teaching in that Selling Online training series. If you have items like this that you are researching online, how much should I sell it for, and you're on Etsy, scroll down and steal these keywords. Okay, because if you're searching for it and it came up, steal these keywords. Also, steal, and I don't think it has it noted here, whatever, steal where it's listed, okay, and take a note of that so you can determine where you want it to be posted yourself. If you're, again, have an identical item or similar item and want it to be posted there. So, all right.
Well, we have one comment from Gladys trying to help In a Good Place, which is the store that you showed before. Her advice would be not to embed the Pinterest board in her store welcome area. You don't want buyers leaving your store.
Okay, now what? Say that again.
It's actually in our chat. It's in our private chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that is a way to look at it. And it's it's pro and it's con of people leaving your store or not. Because yes, people can click a link and be taken away. Absolutely, I will not disagree with that at all. If they are doing that, they're not a serious buyer anyway, and it's okay to let them go. If someone is seriously interested, like in this case, of finding vintage Mexican themed cards that are unique, they're going to know, well, if I click the Pinterest thing, it's going to take me somewhere else, and I really want to look at these cards a little bit more, so I'm going to read more and not click that right now. So, and this is, again, another thing that I just teach in general to, I have another site that we're not going to talk about, but just small business in general. It's okay to say no to clients, and it's okay for clients to say no to you because you don't want them anyway. You want people that are going to find your site based on, or your page in this case, your listing, based on your images, based on your description, based on your title, and then, of course, based on your price, and that they're going to buy that. Those are the people that you want. And so, but like she said, absolutely, somebody might click and they might go away. And oddly enough, that's one of the things that I teach when you're setting up a website. Always have the links open to a new window. Don't ever open them in the same window. But again, that's a totally different topic for a totally different time. And you can't set those inside of eBay and Amazon and all those other selling platforms. So that's a little bit of a problem.
And Angie was a little behind, and so she just answered that she knew the cards were 1950s.
Okay.
And she also asked, would you call those folk art?
On Etsy, you could do folk art dash esque down in the description, not in the title, but down in the description here, because you can get away with that kind of wording. Okay, it's not true primitive folk art, but the broader definition of folk art is anything any art that's done by someone that's not a professional, and that's a big bucket. That's a big bucket. So not specifically, yeah, folk art, but now if you knew the cards were from the 50s, here's the deal. If they were yours, if they were a family member's, it's okay to put that in the description. That's one of the things. I specialize in vintage and one of a kind collectible antiques and stuff like that. So in my descriptions, because I'm always selling my own stuff, and I'll say something like, this precious little doll was one of mine when I was a child, blah, 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 blah. I tell them, and that's okay. You can say, I was traveling the country and just stopped in at an auction, and these were in a set of items from, a dear lady that had been a long time, member of that community. And she was, she was very active in that community in the 50s. Anything that you can kind of match those two together, even if you're not definitively saying, I know for a fact these are from the 50s. Any kind of information you can give to a person. Again, it's all about romancing that item and just giving the person some information that warms it up to them and makes it a little bit more personal than like if they were to walk into Target and pull something off the shelf.
Well, I am not seeing anything else, any other people. And Michelle, that one girl says you know her. That's Michelle Wood.
Yep.
So, and I want to thank everybody that stuck around. I know we actually went almost an extra half hour. I want to thank Wesley for agreeing to stay for the extra half hour. I want to thank Sean for staying the extra half hour. And Wesley, if you want to bring up the program again one more time and how everybody can get a hold of you so we can
Sure,
catch it later or even late.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, just thank you very much for having me on. This was my second time, and I really enjoy it. And as you can probably tell, I give information and then so much more information, probably, you know, a lot of information. But I just feel like, you know, in the marketplace of selling online, it has a special place in my heart that I won't go into the story here. You can look on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/WesleyGW, and find all about that stuff there. But to me, it's just very important because I know what it means to make $100 in a month selling stuff online. I know that is the difference of keeping the lights on in the house or not a lot of times. It's the difference of, you know, are we going to be able to buy food this week for the family or this month, you know, for the family. So it's very important to me that to the best of my ability, that I give above and beyond information to people, and I really focus on the basics. A lot of times, you know, you're going to get people, for example, I don't do mobile. I don't do cell phones. I don't do tablets. So those kind of listing things, that isn't my thing. But here's what I do teach. I teach the basics. I teach information that even if you sell for online for 6 months and never do again, but maybe you start a blog, you can apply that same information over there. But more than anything, I guarantee that if you go through the Selling Online training series, you are going to earn back, you know, and if you follow those steps and actually carry through with listing items, you are going to make back the money that you pay to get registered in the course. So if you're interested in it, again, this it is a, you know, a 4-fee course. Obviously, you know, definitely if you're not ready for that, Cool Toads, Walking Picker, we all have tons of free information online. You know, watch YouTube videos. That's all I can say. But if you're really serious and ready to ramp it up and increase your sales and not necessarily work a lot more hours, you definitely need to consider getting in that Selling Online training series. And the way I want to do this is I want to make sure that people that are in this audience tonight, or even if you're watching this, you know, after the fact, I want to make sure that people from Walking Picker's audience, that I know where you're coming from. So instead of sending you to a website link or something like that, I'd rather, what Chris and I decided is that just go ahead and send me an email, okay, at WesleyGW@hotmail.com, and just tell me, you know, you want to know about the course, you know, you're coming from Walking Picker, or you're coming from Chris or whatever, so I know where you're coming from. I'm going to send you some information, and I'm also going to go ahead and send you an invoice for the course, and then I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to nag at you. You know, I may just check in with you, but it's not going to be any kind of a hard sell because I don't believe in that. I believe that we are all intelligent human beings, and we know what we need to do, and I do know that this program works. I have, you know, I was going to read them tonight, but it's irrelevant. I've got tons of testimonials from people. I was afraid to sell online. You know, I watched your stuff. You helped me. I've sold my first thing. You know, I had a guy just this week. He was like basically doing backflips because he sold something for, I think, $18 on eBay. Think back, you know, when you had your first sale, you know, how did you feel? It's not the $18. It's, oh my gosh, I can do it. Now, I know I'm talking to most people on here that have already sold something. So here's the deal. Have you ever sold anything for $500? What's the highest sale that you've ever made? I guarantee you I will be able to double that amount. I guarantee it. Okay?
$2, all right.
Yeah, there you go. We'll go up to 4. But like if your average sale is $20, imagine doing the same amount of work and getting $50 per sale. If you're doing 50 right now, same amount of work, making 100. How would that change your family's financial situation? I make no claims about it. There are no refunds, okay? I'm unique in that way because I feel information is education. Education, once you've consumed it, you can't give it back, and that's what I want. I want you to be educated, and I want you to take that information with you and either use it yourself or teach it to somebody else down the road. So again, if you're interested, send me an email, WesleyGW@hotmail.com. Let me know you're coming from Chris from Walking Picker, and I'll give you that information, and we'll get you going this next week.
And with that said, I want to thank everybody for watching. I know we're saying goodnight already. Sean, would you like to say anything before we hang out?
No, just thank you all for being nice to me while I was trying to get all your information to her, to Wesley. There was a
And
lot of information coming my way.
yeah, tonight was one of the first nights. Well, not first night, but one of the few nights that Sean did all the work, and I got to sit back and relax.
Dude, I almost broke a sweat, man.
So, with that said, I want to thank you again, Wesley. And yes, we will figure a way of having another one of these review listings on, and maybe we'll set it for a longer time instead of doing an hour and a half like we did in 2 hours. Maybe we'll go for a 3 hour if we all can agree on a certain time frame. Well, I always say that because we know people come in late or in and out, and they may not realize, wait a minute, this stuff is going to help me learn. So, put more time in and do it that way. Yeah. So, with all that said, don't forget Friday night is the Toadcast. You still having it this Friday, Sean?
Yep, as far as I know.
Okay, and we have Profit Talk and the RB3 show tomorrow night, and I believe the Green Room moves to Monday nights. Wednesday nights is the meet and greet. Thursday nights is the Catacombs. And I don't know when Ronnie is going to be back and able to do his Pickers Church on Sunday. The panelists have personal things going on, so they're not going to be having that show for a little while. So, with all that said, I want to thank everybody again, and I will see you next week. Same time, same channel.